In terms of sharing skill sets required for a founder's office, you did miss out on some very important key attributes, which was problem solving, critical thinking, decision making, futuristic leadership. So that's something that we need to pay attention to and smile, because you did not smile at all throughout, which is important for you to develop that connection with the interviewer.
Hi, I'm Kushagra. I'm an engineer by profession. I've worked for 3.5 years in multiple startups like Hirect, Squad-Stack, AI Sensi. I'm looking for founders office and strategy focused roles in industries like automobile, recruitment tech, and healthcare. The first week we were at Masters Union, we had a mock, and we have had 5-6 mocks after that. What I expect from this interview is what body language and how should I conduct myself in the interview, how crisp or concise I have to be, and then of course what not to do in an interview. Hello, ma'am. May I come in?
Yes, please come in.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Kushagra. Please have a seat.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So let's get started with this, Kushagra. So tell me about yourself, please.
I come from family of engineers. Because of that, I chose my undergrad as computer science from SRM University, Chennai. Then I took my first role in a company called Hirect. When I joined, the company was only a member of 10 people. And the app got launched after I joined. So it was very initial. I took operations and product, built the team, went from 10 members to 250 members, did 1 million downloads. Then moved to a company called Squad-Stack. My first role in Squad-Stack was about account management and growing accounts. In that, I did almost the growth of 30% to my accounts. Got promoted because of that. Went into more product and strategy focused role. Then my role was to build a product on the existing product to incorporate increase of supply TAM. Then I moved to a company called AI Sensi. It is a meta BSP building product over WhatsApp. So there my role was more focused on founders office. It was a smaller team, a team of 15 members. Grew that team, brought structure to the team and worked on roadmaps.
Now, where do you see yourself moving? You've already changed your jobs thrice.
Now I'm looking for a founder's office role in a bigger corporation.
So founder's office role, but what is the expertise that you feel that you've established for yourself in the last 4 years now?
I have two expertise, which is operations and product management. In operations, I've worked on fundamentals of workflows and on multiple onboarding, multiple customer point of views. I bring SOP writing. I bringing structure to the product, and then product management, growing a product from 0 to 1. So that there is a product which is working, and then make it better to optimize to either decrease the CAC for the customers or increase the conversions.
Okay, but that's not something that you did right from the beginning, right? From Hirect to Squad-Stack. What was your primary, the area that you were working with? Was it ops or was it product management more?
In Hirect, the team was very small. So we were doing everything and anything. But my major KPIs were focused on operations to bring more customers and decrease the CAC for the customer. So when I joined, my B2B CAC was above 1,000 rupees and my B2C CAC was above 100 rupees. My aim for the next 10 months to come to 50% of that, and we achieved almost 600 for the B2B and almost 30-35 rupees for B2C depending on the days and marketing campaign. We ran a lot of marketing campaign, we ran a lot of optimization in the product. So it was mix of both. And then in Squad-Stack, it was a bigger company. It was a more structured B2B SaaS company. So the customers were more like an enterprise clients. Now with enterprise clients, it's how you operate with them. So the first 2-3 months went into relationship building, and then when the relationship was formed, we used to visit them. We optimized their funnel. We were working continuously with the clients to update them, and then got that account bigger and bigger slowly, steadily.
The most recent experience that you've had is where you've been able to now combine both.
Yes.
But where does your interest lie?
Operations and product management goes hand to hand. So definitely looking for a more general role where I can contribute in both of the domains.
So tell me about your most significant achievement while you were working in your most recent experience.
So my biggest challenge at AI Sensi was, since it's a B2B SaaS tool, my average order value for the customers was just 1,400 rupees. At a B2B stage, when my CAC is really high, my 1,400 AOV was not sustainable and we couldn't do bigger clients on because of that. Now, since a client who is having a bigger account will also come at 1400 or at least 2000 rupees, which did not make sense. So my biggest challenge was to make that 1400 to 4000 or 5000 rupees. So now what we did was we saw that, okay, I'm giving ABC as a service for that 1400 rupees. One thing which I can do is increase my services. So what I did was partnered with other companies who were doing similar work, onboarded on our platform, and then offered the bundle services together. So now it directly went from 1400 to 2000 rupees with one or two people coming in. Now I onboarded almost 10 companies. It did not reach to 4000 or between 4000 and 5000, but it did reach to 2800, 2900, which was a significant increase.
Right. But this was a very short stint for you, right?
Yes.
It was hardly about 3 to 4 months that you have really been able to work. Then talking about that you were able to, be able to show this over a period of time, this does not get validated here at all. Is there something that you'll be able to validate for me, your most significant achievement in ops and product management now?
I'll talk about my biggest, which is Squad Stack. It was almost 2 years. Squad Stack is building a tech to taking BPOs work from home, so which saves much on operations. My biggest challenge was retaining callers, because in a BPO industry, the life cycle of the callers and the employees were very less. And the retaining problem came fundamentally from training them in-house L&D and expectation setting. So now when I'm expecting a caller to perform like a 50,000 rupee resource, when it's a 25,000 resource, there's a fundamental difference in what I'm expecting and what the output will be. So to get them to that level, I created an in-house LMS with my existing tools, did not have a developer come in. I went from zero, automated almost all my trainings. And at the end, I found that my callers who were entering into training, coming out, were doing successfully all the steps. Versus people who are not doing, there was a significant 50% difference in the quality and the expectation delivery.
So were you doing this and taking care of this initiative completely by yourself? Or was there somebody in your team who was supporting you and mentoring you for this?
What my first draft was that we should bring the same structure, but I have not thought of automation. So my manager brought the automation angle and helped me with the tools and the steps we should take.
Okay, lovely. So tell me, what do you think are the primary skill sets that now you would require for a founder's office?
Founder's office is a very general position with no management title. One very big skill is relationship building. Then you need to have to be a people's person. You need to understand how to operate in such a big team with this no particular team. I think one of the biggest skill for a founder's office would be a data analysis skill. And if data-backed decisions are not happening, then there would be a fundamentally flaw in either the decision or the actions taken.
You also mentioned that, which is very important, is people management.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to elaborate on this and then also highlight a key experience and try and keep this concise to where you've been able to demonstrate this?
So I'll talk about my last experience in AI Sensei. I joined as a senior person in the team, and when the target was to see that the team should now grow from that 50 mark to 60 members in almost 3 months. So we had to bring a lot of policies to make sure that the culture which is already there will continue. We started doing a lot of one-on-ones with new people coming in. So for example, I set up a policy that when a new person joining in, no matter what the team is, they should need to have first 30 minutes or 1 hour call set up with every head or manager in the team. So they would get a high level knowledge of all.
You did not highlight really about a skill set which I would have really wanted you to highlight, which was leadership, problem solving, which is very integral to the role of being a part of the founder's office. But have you been able to demonstrate that in any of your work experiences in the past?
Leadership skills, I'll elaborate in AI Sensei. So I took a lot of steps and initiatives, as mentioned before, to continue the culture. So let's say someone achieved their personal best percentage in the last week, they will be called out in front of everyone in the whole company. That would give them a sense of achievement and sense of belonging, and that made them work harder.
Okay, so that's primarily talking about the skill sets. So anything that that you're really getting inhibited with, your apprehensions, would you like to share that with us?
No, ma'am, I don't think there are. So
any weaknesses that you'd like to highlight for us?
One of the weakness I think is a stage fright. But after doing my MBA course, it has really helped me. One of my biggest MBA challenge was to go onto stage and talk in front of 1,000 people. I did that. So what I figured is that when you practice a lot and you understand every aspect that audience will do, and that helps, and that has become better. And then second weakness would be I tend to have a tendency to neglect health, on which I'm working.
Kushagra, that was the end of the understanding about you in the form of a mock interview here. I'd like to share certain points of feedback, and then I'd really like to hear your comments on the same as well. So, every time that you've been speaking about your experiences, I was glad to see these were the highlights, which is that you were able to crystallize experiences in terms of the achievements done at each of these previous work experiences, which you've been able to clearly draft. So my recommendation here is that at least have about 5 to 7 key different experiences or episodes while you were working in each of these companies, and differentiate them on what kind of attributes have you been able to display in each of those experiences so that they do not overlap.
Okay,
right?
Understood.
In terms of sharing skill sets required for a founder's office, you did miss out on some very important key attributes. So you only mentioned about more to do with people management, more to do with data analysis and understanding data and taking out your understanding from the same. But you really missed out on the most important attributes, which was problem solving, critical thinking, decision making, futuristic, planning for the future, being able to see that, leadership. And you missed out completely on highlighting those, although you have demonstrated them in your past experiences. So I would want you to revisit and think about that what are the 5 most important skill sets that now you require for this role. And now for these 5 different skill sets, so let's say, for example, that we have leadership, we have communication, we have data analysis, we have relationship building, and you have creativity and visualization for the future. Now, these are the 5 important skill sets. Now, highlight and see that what are the most recent experiences that you can talk about to elaborate that where have you been able to demonstrate these skill sets, which you were able to do, but because right now it may have not really been drafted. So, of course, it takes a little bit of time, but it was above average in terms of answering back situation-based questions impromptu. So it was done more than, I would say, above average for somebody who's not prepared with situation-based questions like these. Okay? Now, whenever you're answering a situation-based question, which means you're picking up your real life experiences, you tended to make them and stretch them and make them extremely long. And I mentioned that multiple times in between. Please keep them concise. Please keep them concise. What happens is, as a matter of fact, that the interviewer is going to lose their interest because nobody is really interested to hear stories. They're interested to hear what was your winning, what was your most significant achievement, and how you've been able to contribute that result to the company. And that's all that we really need to highlight.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
So what were we classify them as that? What were the skills that you learned? What were the values that you imbibed? And what were the actions and outcomes that you were able to achieve for them? In terms of non-verbal behavior, clarity of voice is there. We refer to this as clarity of voice in terms of spelling out every single word. But I would still want to say that try and emphasize on the last syllable of every word and the next syllable for it to become clearer in terms of explaining, and just slightly reduce the speed so that the clarity and the expression is highlighted more. Okay, that's the first non-verbal feedback. Secondly, for the body language, I would want you to increase the distance between your shoulders and your earlobes.
Okay.
Yes, so that it just portrays a lot more confidence. They don't need to really be curving up in front, which they tend to when we are sitting for a longer period of time. We need to make sure that we still have sharp edges right till the very end. And the distance that we have is enlarged as well. So that's something that we need to pay attention to, and smile, because you did not smile at all throughout, which is important for you to develop that connection with the interviewer rather than just the opening. So you can always, when you're talking about experiences, have a small little smile, speak about, yes, I have multiple experiences. I'd like to share a few. So keep that pleasantness so that you're able to develop that connection through smile and eye contact. Okay. So that's about the feedback. You have anything to ask?
Got everything I wanted.
Or everything that you wanted? Right. Thank you so much, Kushagra.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.